Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. Before we get into things, I've got to pass on my condolences to the family of Jonathan Rinzler. For those who don't know, Jonathan worked on a bunch of Star Wars books. He recently died. We're just hearing about it today. He was only 58. He died of pancreatic cancer, but I know he contributed to a lot of the Star Wars fandom and he made a lot of people's lives better. I'm going to link down below to an article all about his life, and if you guys want to learn more about the man, you can do so there. Anyway, today we're talking about the new Star Wars hotel that Disney is launching. It's called the Galactic Starcruiser, and in my title, I'm sure I'm going to call it ridiculous or something like that, because to be honest, this is the most ridiculous Disney experience that I have personally heard of, not only in content, which I'm sure will be great, but also in price. I'll get to price later if you just want to learn about that, because there are some options. I've included it down in the timestamp so you can scrub around, but first I want to talk about this hotel and its features. So we've known about the Galactic Starcruiser for some time now. It's actually coming pretty soon though, spring of 2022. It's basically a 2-day total immersive experience which Disney is putting on in collaboration with Galaxy's Edge. If you've ever been to Galaxy's Edge, and I think I've been 3 times or twice maybe, it sort of makes you feel like you're in the Star Wars universe. Whether you like the sequel trilogy or not, they take it very seriously, as Disney does with all of their theme park experiences. Pretty much everything is Star Wars themed, and it's pretty cool. The Galactic Starcruiser will sort of be expanding that experiences throughout your 2 days. So instead of leaving the park and going to a hotel, you'll sort of be continuing your stay in Star Wars land. For example, they talk about visiting Batuu, which is the theme park, as an excursion down to the planet. So of course, everything within the ship is completely themed, from your room to the common areas, and I believe you're even given clothes to wear, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, there are tons of little details that sounds really cool. For example, the window in your room will display a space scene. All the food will be Star Wars themed. If you've ever been to a theme park, you'll also know that one of the big important aspects is how the staff act. Usually there will be staff in character. It's pretty cool in Batuu or Galaxy's Edge. The way the stormtroopers work, for example, is they have sort of pre-recorded voice lines, at least I believe, and they speak by moving their hand. Other characters, like of course Rey, have impersonators, and it's all really cool. Those are the basics, though. I'm going to go over more detail, but before we do, I think it's important that we talk about price. I knew that this was going to be expensive, but the price of this experience and this trip absolutely blew me away, and not in a good sense. This product will be absolutely unobtainable for the vast majority of people. The prices are as follows: $4,809 for a 2-person cabin, $5,300 for 2 adults and 1 child, and $5,999, let's call it $6,000 for a family of 4. And that's American. I'm Canadian, so $6,000 for me. So saying that this is unobtainable for the vast majority of people is probably an understatement. This is an experience that will be limited to only the very wealthy, especially if you have kids. I mean, I can't even see myself dropping half of that, even if it were just my wife and I, and we didn't have kids to look after. So safe to say I'll never be going on this, probably you won't either, and we'll sort of be limited to watching it on YouTube or whatever else. Of course, I'm sure this comes with a free park admission and whatever else, but to me that's actually a bit of the unfortunate bit, part of the reason why this is even less of a deal. Now, I've been lucky enough that every time I've went to Batuu, it's been as a part of some event, whether an EA event or a Star Wars event, but I know that 2-day tickets are still a couple $100, so as an entire family, you know, you're gonna spend probably close to $1,000, but that's a completely different universe than what we're talking about here. And if you look at the sample itinerary, although a lot of this does seem really, really cool, you'll also see, for example, that also constitutes a decent part of your second day. So let's just look at the itinerary briefly. Basically, you enter the ship, you do lots of orientation, you get some refreshments, you learn to play sabacc, which is really, really cool. There's dinners and everything else. The The night ends with an Outer Rim regalia and then an unexpected story moment. You know, it all seems really cool, and it's hard for me to say that they're ripping you off or that this isn't worth the price, because the second day is even more jam-packed with things. Aside from going to the park, you also get lightsaber training, you get to build your own model ship, there's a sabacc tournament, and then there's more dinners and galas. So probably a lot you're taking home with this, a lot in experiences as well. But I mean, $6,000. That is a lot of money. I know there are some people who are really into Disney and theme parks, so maybe you can correct me, but this has got to be the only experience of this caliber. I'm kind of surprised Harry Potter hasn't tried to do something like this. I think that would be really successful, where you're sort of boarded in one of the Harry Potter houses. But yeah, if I'm about to spend $5,000 to go to a hotel, like, I need to literally learn how to use the Force, and I gotta keep that for at least a month, and I'm probably going to steal something that's not bolted down. I will say they definitely took this to $1 million. It's a really cool idea. It's just not something that I will ever be able to do, most likely, unless there's some sort of event there. Let me know, though, do you plan on doing this? Is this something that you would consider? And if so, what line of work are you in? Because I need to transfer to that. Also, can you ever see them putting out maybe a light version of this? Maybe a Star Wars themed hotel that's not so immersive and, you know, not so events heavy, that could also be more accessible to the average person as a sort of alternative to the standard hotels you go to when you stay at Disney. Anyway, that's all I've got, guys. As always, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.